Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of UHS Presents. And today we are doing Critical Affection. Let's crap on a movie we love. Joining us this evening, joining me and you, is my critically affectionate cohort, Julie McCusa. Hi, Julie.
Hi.
We're gonna get demonetized.
Sorry. Hi.
Oh shit, man, you fucked up my groove. I was doing the thing. Don't throw off his groove. So Julie's back, long-awaited return of Julie, but we also have tonight everybody's favorite kitten artist, Katie Rooston. Hi, Katie.
Hi.
So, and Astian, as usual. Good evening. Hello. Nice. Thank you for joining us. Nice to join us. That's what was coming out of my mouth was nice to join us. So, I'm firing all cylinders as usual. Anywho's, today, obviously, we're going to be doing our childhood Christmas trauma with Edward Scissorhands because it is the most Christmassy movie, I think, in our childhood trauma list so far. So that's why we're doing Edward Scissorhands today, because Christmas is like 10 days away, 11 days away. It's really fucking close, and it's ridiculous. And I'm not done shopping, and I gotta buy shit for the kids, like my nieces and nephews. And I just remembered today that I do not have 4 nieces and nephews. I have 5 to buy for because my brother had a baby. Well, his wife had a baby. He didn't do shit. He had a very limited role in the birth, The point is I've got 3 nieces and 2 nephews now, and I gotta buy an extra gift. But luckily, the new one, she's like a baby, so she doesn't give a shit, so I can get a gift card for that, and that's fine. Sure. And actually, that's probably better because this kid is growing real fast, and then they can just keep the gift card for a couple of weeks or a couple of months, or I don't know how fast do babies grow. I've seen her
I don't remember it late. It's fine.
The point is I'll just give them some money, and then they can buy some more baby clothes when she outgrows the shit she has now. That's where I was trying to go with there, and didn't quite get there, but I mean, we got there. Just, you guys came with me on that journey, and now here we are.
Yes, so. Nice to join us.
Nice to join us. Thank you for remembering that, by the way. So before we get to Edward Scissorhands, I want to do a quick UHS news update. We are, for Power Broker, we have 3 days left, $5,091 and 227 backers. So you guys are all amazing. And if you want to get in and change your pledge, we prefer if you change it in the upward version. Even if you can only give $1, it's like we are going to appreciate that to the end of the world. So if you want to support us at all, that's a great way to do it. And it is a fantastic comic full of really gorgeous art, and it's a story where anyone can have superpowers for a price. So if you want some of that sweet loot, you got a couple more days to get in there. Second point, Miss Medusa's Monsters Menagerie books are due to arrive on the 22nd, so that's really freaking soon. So check keep an eye on your preferred update medium, be it the social media, or there'll be emails. So just keep an eye on that shit, and you'll be knowing when you're going to get your stuff from that campaign. Probably not before Christmas. So, don't hold your breath for that. We've been focusing a lot more on our YouTube channel as well. So besides seeing the recorded streams after we stream them, they stay on YouTube, and you can go and rewatch all the times that I fuck up. But, all the dumb shit that I've said, you can go and go rewatch it and laugh at me some more. But anyways, besides all that, you can see Lori's weekly comics chasers. I don't think they're gonna make me do any comics chasers, but I don't know. I mean, that might happen. I don't know, but maybe I won't have to do those because I don't know. They seem awkward. Lori's doing a really good job, and I don't want to be awkward. So there's going to be also teaser videos. There's going to be more art stuff on there. A little thing about Lori's inking was posted the other day, so that's really fun to watch, and it's only 30 seconds long. So it's a really fun shot in the arm. Excuse me, I burped. It tasted like pizza. All right. So anyway, yeah, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. And what is it like? You're supposed to smash that like button and hit the bell and all that shit that the other weirdos that are really popular on there says, like, smash that like button. But anyway, make sure you subscribe is the point. Like, if you're subscribed, then our shit will show up in your subscription feed, and then you'll see all of the crap that we put on there. And it should only get better from here. So
I just pledged to do Powerbird because I just remembered.
Okay. So, I think that's everything for now. And you know, like, if I didn't remember something, you know, Lori will catch it on the Comics Chaser. So go watch it. I mean, not today. Like, it doesn't come out till Wednesday, so don't watch it now. So you'll get last week's episode or whatever. So anyway, let's get to it. If you missed the last episode of UHS Presents, then you're dead to me. But also, it's available to watch on YouTube and Facebook forever, basically. And you can watch it on Twitch for like another week. So go check it out. I have no fucking idea when we did when did we do the last Critical Affection?
I was just about to ask you that. It was quite a long time ago. I'm sure it was.
Like, I mean, I don't think we did any in October or November. Well, we might have done one in October, but definitely not in November.
Well, we did. Yeah, we did Hocus Pocus.
Right. That's probably the last one. Yeah.
Yeah, I missed that one. I think I was on holiday, so it must have been in October.
Yeah. It was Hocus Pocus. Must have been the last one. We were gonna do Secret of Nim. After that at some point, and then everything went wrong with everybody, and we had to cancel. And that's so far the only episode we've had to cancel. We've been doing this for about a year now, so far that was the only one. Which, yeah, I feel like that's pretty good. Anyway, so it should go without saying, but if you have not seen Edward Scissorhands, and if you haven't, what have you even been doing with your life? But if you haven't, and you're hanging out with us tonight, then, as per the usual, never gonna get tired of that clip. What are we gonna do when we're having anyway. So let's do that. Let's do this. Edward Scissorhands had a limited release on December 7th, 1990, and the wide release came a week later. The film has a humongous 90% rating from the critics on Rotten Tomatoes Tomato Meter, and a 91% audience score, which might be the highest rating we have done on a movie on this show so far.
Yeah,
so
I think so.
Cool. And I mean, well deserved too. This is an amazing movie. Like I said, I was saying before we went live, I don't have a lot bad to say about this movie. I just love it. I love this movie. Anyway, stars, of course. Johnny Depp as Edward, the unfinished humanoid invention with, you guessed it, scissors for hands. Diane Wiest is Peg Boggs, the saleswoman who discovers Edward and brings him to her suburban home. Winona Ryder is Kim, Peg's teenage daughter, who forms a bond with Edward. Anthony Michael Hall is Jim, Kim's moron boyfriend. Alan Arkin is Bill, who is Peg's husband and Kim's father. And the magnificent Vincent Price is the inventor who creates Edward. So, some trivia. The houses in that suburb where the whole damn thing takes place is a real neighborhood in Florida that was completely unchanged, except that they painted the houses all those very garish colors. I don't know. I wasn't a fan. How do you guys feel about the colors of the neighborhood?
I loved it. I love the color scheme. It's just totally retro and just really
reminds me of Sherbet ice cream.
Yeah, it just puts you in that headspace of just 1950s, whatever, quiche, like, I don't know. Like, I thought it was very appropriate.
Yeah. Oh, and it's not like the movies. What?
It seemed kind of bland to me, just like little boxes painted in pastel colors. But it's they're all solid colors, but they're all like just so bright, and none of the colors that are the houses next to one another, like, they don't match. It is very 50s kitsch, isn't it?
It also
And
kind of reminded me of Fallout 4, is it? You know, where you're going into the neighborhood at the start, and then you get the salesperson for the bomb shelter thing. It
Yeah.
weirdly reminded me of that.
Yeah.
the
Mm-hmm.
movie is supposed to be viewed like it's the colors. It's meant to be seen through Edward's eyes, like we're watching it as we're seeing it as Edward sees it, which is why like he spent his whole life in that very gray mansion. So when he comes down, everything is oversaturated and it's like way different from anything else he's ever seen before. So like that's why they made the colors like that, according to the various sources from which I get trivia. So I mean, it makes sense, but also very loud colors. So some of the actors that were considered for the role of Edward: Tom Cruise, Jim Carrey, Robert Downey Jr., which
Yeah.
I can see Robert Downey Jr. is the only one. Like Tom Cruise, maybe back then, not now the way he is now. No fucking way. But maybe from maybe 1990, Tom Cruise and Jim Carrey. I don't know. He's just too goofy for me for that. Like I don't think he would have been as serious about it. So I think Johnny Depp nailed it. But
Yeah.
but like I can see
Jim Carrey would have been too. He wouldn't have been able to do the make it as dramatic and heartbreaking, as Depp
yeah,
did.
he would have made it too silly. Yeah.
It's not. Yeah, it wouldn't be as bittersweet as Depp did. I agree. I think Tom Cruise back then could have possibly done it because I mean his performance of Lestat in Interview with a Vampire is very. I still think it's one of his greatest performances ever. He plays that role very well, and I think he could have also done justice to Edward as well. But I mean, each actor is going to like play him a little bit differently. But Depp was definitely the right choice to go with.
Yeah, like I think I could see Robert Downey Jr. doing that, from well, at any point in his career. Like I could see him doing it now too, actually. Even though I'm kind of sick of Robert Downey Jr. If I'm honest, I'm just sick of it. He's been on everything lately. But anyway, some of the actresses that were considered for Kim: Sarah Gilbert, and she couldn't because I think that they wanted Sarah Gilbert, but Roseanne, the producers from Roseanne, wouldn't let her out of her contract, so she couldn't do the movie.
Oh,
bastards, right? I mean, not that I think that. I mean, like, I don't know if she would have been any better for the role of Kim.
I don't know. I kind of have the same feeling I do with Depp. Like, I don't know if Sarah could have really had that, like, I don't know, teenage romance, like.
I can see them doing it. Yeah. But some of the other actors in some of these, I'm just like, what? Julia Roberts? No, she would have been all wrong for that. Molly Ringwald? Maybe. Leah Thompson? Alyssa Milano, Jennifer Connelly, Ali Sheedy, Heather Langenkamp.
Really? That would have been really interesting. Huh. I could have seen, Langenkamp would have been really interesting. But I could see, shit, you just said her name and I, like, totally fucking lost it.
Sheedy?
No.
Alyssa Milano. Molly Ringwald?
Molly Ringwald, yeah. I mean, Molly, that's all she played in the movies, She always played the, the romantic interest, the teenage, like, whatever. Like, she could have done it. But I would have just... that movie almost kind of has a John Hughes vibe to it, now that I think about it. And I think she probably could have done it, but... I don't know. But I think they went with the right...
Elizabeth Shue and Uma Thurman are also on that list, like, of people who were considered for the role of Kim. And I'm like, I think that the only ones that I would strike off as absolutely not is Julia Roberts and Uma Thurman.
Yeah, I agree. I can't see that.
The rest of them, I could see them taking that role. I mean, obviously, Winona Ryder did it great. She was great, but I think that all the other ones they would have been good alternatives as well. So
yeah, I think Julia Roberts would have turned it into like this, like it would have been a bad casting choice in a great movie, and like that would be the sore thumb that like stuck out and like kept it from being as good as it is.
Yeah, for sure. For
I
sure.
don't know. Well, she was popular at the time, so I'm not surprised that she was, on the list.
Itchy right now. Like, I mean, I'm gonna apologize in advance if y'all just see me just ram my finger up my nose because it's so itchy right now. I'm not trying to pick my nose, it's just itchy. Anyway, okay, so synopsis. I'm gonna kind of gloss over this because we only have an hour now. We don't get the hour and a half anymore. So the movie is the old woman's telling her granddaughter about the story of a boy named Edward with scissors for hands. He was created by this old inventor, and the inventor dies before he's able to finish Edward, so he's left with his scissor hands. And after years later, Peg Boggs, the Avon lady, comes and tries to make a sale at the old dilapidated mansion, and she finds Edward and decides, hey, I'm going to bring him to my house, like a lost kitten that she found on the street or something.
Mm-hmm.
So weird. But okay, so she introduces him to their family, and eventually Kim, who was gone, she comes back and meets him too, which and Edward kind of falls in love with her before he even sees her because he just sees a photo of her and he's like, oh my god, she's so pretty, right? And the entire neighborhood also seems to just instantly love Edward, except for the crazy Jesus lady and
There's always one.
yes, and Kim's boyfriend, who initially finds him hilarious, but then as he sees Kim become more and more fond of Edward, he starts to get jealous and hates Edward. So Edward becomes this like hedge trimming, dog grooming, hair cutting prodigy, and he goes to open a salon. And Joyce, the what is she, like the neighborhood sex pot, I guess?
Neighborhood, MILF? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, so Joyce takes him to a salon that's open for rental, and then she, they're checking out the location, but she kind of like, she sexually assaults him. She's sexual assault. But I mean, back in the 90s when this came out, like it wasn't considered that. It was just like, oh, she put the moves on him, but nah, she sexually assaulted him. Anyway, he rebuffs her, so she's pissed, and she, then when he goes back home, and like he also gets denied for a loan, so he's like the salon thing isn't gonna happen. And then later Jim, who is a piece of shit, manages somehow to convince Kim, which was kind of a dick move on Kim's part, but like he manages to convince Kim to tell Edward to do this, to break into somebody's house, and they trick Edward into thinking that it's this guy stole something from Jim, and la la la. Anyway, tricks Edward into breaking into Jim's home to steal some of his dad's expensive electronics, but they trigger an alarm, and Jim flees and drags Kim along with him, and Edward is stuck there to be captured by the police. And they decide that, he's relatively harmless, he just needs to keep an eye on him, and so they let him go, and kind of the entire neighborhood kind of turns against him except for the Boggses, and they try to have the Boggses try to have their annual Christmas party, and Edward sculpts this big, beautiful ice angel, which Kim loves. Like, it's like there's the shit, the ice shavings are flying everywhere.
Yeah, the shavings.
The ice shit. It's flying everywhere.
It's raining down on her face, and it's so romantic.
She loves it, and she loves the ice shit. But anyway, she's dancing in it like dancing in the snow, which is not nearly as fun as she makes it seem, by the way. But Jim shows up, and I think by this point, Kim has dumped him. She does not like him. But anyway, he shows up at their house uninvited, shouts at Edward, startling Edward, who then swings around really fast and accidentally cuts Kim's hand. And then Jim attacks Edward and accuses him of trying to hurt Kim on purpose, blah, blah, blah. Edward gets very angry and like flies into this rage, and he destroys some of the topiaries. I know he goes into the house and like destroys the curtains and the wallpaper and stuff. He eventually, when Jim attacks him, he does run off, and he's calmed by that random dog, like the dog. He's sitting on the walk, and he The dog comes over and says hi, and then he's fine again, I guess. Anyway, Edward goes back to Boggs' house, and Kim's there alone because everybody else had gone out to look for Edward. So she tries to get him to hold her, but he's afraid of hurting her. She gets him to hold her anyway. Jim comes around, of course, because of course he does. He's fucking blasted out of his mind, and they drive in this drunken rage. And the driver, they're both drunk, and they almost run over Kim's brother Kevin. But Edward pushes Kevin to safety, but he accidentally kind of cuts him up a little bit because he has scissors for hands. And the neighbors and Jim accuse him of trying to hurt Kevin. And Edward defends himself, and then he runs away back to the mansion. Kim goes after Edward. Jim goes after Edward, somehow having gotten a fucking gun. And in the mansion, Jim attacks. Kim goes up and talks to Edward, but then Jim attacks them and shoots at Edward, which Kim's standing right fucking next to him, so he could have hit her too. Anyway, they fight. Edward wasn't gonna fight back, but then Jim slaps Kim. Edward's and then attacks him, and then he falls. He pushes him, kind of stabs him in the guts, but then pushes him out a window too, and he dies. Jim dies. Kim tells Edward that she loves him, and then gives him a kiss, and then she leaves. And the neighbors who have by this point all gathered in front of the mansion, she goes and she tells them that Edward killed Jim, but Jim killed Edward, and everybody's dead, and leave him alone. And then we go back to the story, the present day, with the grandmother talking to the granddaughter, and we find out the grandma is Kim, and she thinks that Edward's still alive because it wouldn't be snowing if he wasn't alive. So they go kind of do a flashback of Kim dancing in the snow and scene. So yeah. It's a good movie. I don't have I like I said, I'm glad that you guys have some criticisms. I have nitpicks, but I don't have a lot of criticisms because it's just such a freaking good movie. It's not the Tim Burtoniest movie, like you said, it does have a little Hughesy vibe to it. It's not the Burtoniest movie that Burton ever did, but it's a pretty fucking. I think it might be one of his best ones, if not his best.
Was that one of his first ones?
No, I don't think it was his first one, but it was one of his earlier ones.
I forget.
I'm not sure now. I should Google that.
Google
Possibly
it.
One of the ones where we fell in love with using Johnny Depp for everything.
Yeah, this is the first movie that he did with Depp, and then they became friends, and then they did a bunch of shit together. So yeah, that definitely.
And then he does everything now that he does, and Danny Elfman does most of the soundtracks as well.
Yes.
Although the soundtrack for this one was used in so many adverts in the UK, it just kind of makes me think of power companies, because that's what it was used for. Like British Gas or something used it for ages. So I'm just like,
God, really?
Yeah,
that's insane. That's so funny. Jeez.
I just Googled Tim Burton's filmography, and you guys are gonna fucking love this. His very first movie is Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Oh, duh! I should have remembered that. That's like another one of my faves of his.
Yeah,
dude.
I haven't seen it.
We should do one of these about.
You haven't seen that one?
No,
you haven't.
Oh, shit! Oh, watch it. Watch it.
I've heard of it.
You've never heard of it?
No, but I didn't have a TV for a long time, so.
To be fair, Pee-wee Herman is a very American thing. But yeah, we should totally, Ascian, we should totally do an episode on Pee-wee's Big, oh my God.
Yeah, Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Oh my God.
We got the side seat driver back here that just did a Pee-wee Herman laugh, and I heard it.
I heard it. That was really good.
Oh my God.
But I have a note to start us off with, is like, who thinks that's an appropriate story to tell a child just before bedtime? It's got a murder in it, and it's like
I feel like that would be a story that my parents probably would have allowed me to hear, but not before bed. That's a story that winds you up, not calms you down.
Yeah. And she's got like the biggest bed I've ever seen a child in.
Yes. Oh my God, she does.
She's at her grandma's house, so it's her grandma's spare bedroom, probably, like her grandma's for having the kids over bed. So maybe, I don't know. My grandma always had like a big old 1800s farmhouse. So we had the weird room upstairs, and and it was like super, super cool. But then when you actually had to go to bed and sleep in it, then it was like fucking creepy.
Nope. I'm glad you started with that, because that is one of my only criticisms of this movie. I hated Winona Ryder's makeup so much, and I still do.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was on purpose to make it like so bad, like you knew it was her, like, but it didn't look like old Winona Ryder. It looked like Winona Ryder in bad old people makeup. That I still don't like it.
It wasn't great, but I guess at the time, we have much better ways of making people age now with with the CGI and stuff, but
I don't like, see, that's my thinking is, I don't know if it was done on purpose, because I think with all the other makeup techniques that they did have, especially for Edward himself, I would think they'd be able to do good old people makeup, but I mean, I don't know.
Maybe they just didn't care because she has a grand total of like 3 minutes on the screen. So maybe they just were like,
that's true. Yeah, and I guess you probably had to, it might have been like a contractual thing, like, okay, if you're going to put, Winona Ryder in this movie, we have to make, they have to be able to tell that it's her, so I don't know.
That could be, I don't know. In the beginning, Diane Weist's character, Peg, fucking follows that Avon script to a T. I forgot how fucking annoying those were. Those Avon ladies. Avon was the big one. I think now everybody does Mary Kay. Like that's the big MLM makeup company, but back in the day it was definitely Avon. I don't know about UK either, but here Avon. And oh my god,
Avon for a while, yeah.
Putting it as her character reciting a script, so it was really like I thought she did an excellent job there, but it was so annoying.
When
what's that?
It looks like a soul destroying job, just going around and getting people like slamming the door in your face all the time.
Yeah,
but I have to admit,
she's really irritating.
Yeah, she's got a really good sales technique. I mean, she sticks to the script so much that she's even going for the astringents when he's cut his face. When she meets him, it's like you've just met a guy who's got scissors for hands and you're trying to sell him astringents.
She went from being terrified of him to wanting to take care of his face with her Avon astringent, like just bam, just like that. The switch flipped immediatally.
Yeah.
But to be fair, like, he's afraid of him, and then he's like, "Don't go." And then, I mean, like, I would probably been like, "Oh, okay, I won't go," and hug him, and yeah, probably would have been like that too.
Yeah.
Well, so she's pretty nosy though, because I mean, like, fair enough. If you think someone's at home, you just open the door and say, "Hi, is anyone there?" Not just go through and start like wandering around this massive mansion trying to follow someone who's obviously running away from you. I mean, maybe that's what she's trying to, that's her sales technique, maybe, but. Maybe people hiding under the sofa or something.
I don't know. And like you got to remember that it was 1990, and maybe that was I don't like. If we saw a big old mansion that looked abandoned, like I would probably go sneak in there and check it out too. So
garden doesn't look abandoned. The garden is the best garden in the entire town.
Yeah, no, she knew it wasn't abandoned because of those gorgeous topiaries. Like, you have to maintain the shit out of those things. So she knew there was somebody there. She had to know. And that's one of my notes was like, those topiaries are fucking amazing. But in my doing my limited research for the intro of the episode, they're not real topiaries, of course. They're fucking wire sculptures that they wrapped moss and shit around. And I was like, why can't somebody do a dinosaur topiary that's real?
I do have a comment about the topiaries. A bit later on in the film, when you see the guy like cutting the hedges in the garden, he's cutting the bushes in the garden, and then he turns around and he's turned it into a topiary. It's magically changed from whatever bush it was to a box hedge.
Yes. I noticed that as well. Yes, I was like, oh, it was just like a random fucking tree, and then suddenly it's a hedge that can be sculpted like that. I'm like,
it's a box hedge. Yeah, that's what they do them with. Yeah. But I think the thing before was like a conifer or something. It's like
I have no idea. But there's the mansion was very stereotypically gothic. Like that was the most stereotypically gothic mansion. Like there was even like just every type of gothic monster was all like they just slapped it all on there. It was like what?
I love it. Like there's gargoyles everywhere. It's perfect.
Yes, the gargoyles were everywhere. And,
but inside, it's just one giant room, which is like a factory. So most mansions like that have little rooms everywhere.
Yeah. At one point, there's you see the floor, which is one of those painted cement floors with the like the paint flecks and shit on it, like you do with a garage floor. It was like, well, you know, that maybe doesn't fit with a gothic mansion. And also at this point, there were upstairs in the mansion you could see because you could see the windows. And I was like, I bet you didn't have that floor in an upstairs room of a mansion. That was
it would have been hardwood.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, and not sparkly either. It was sparkly. So,
my next comment is, when you finally meet him, wouldn't the Scissor Fingers be blunt by this point in his life? Especially if he cut a lot of paper. I mean, if you cut paper with scissors, they go blunt so fast. So he's obviously sharpening them.
And he would like occasionally cut sandpaper to hone the scissors. I don't know.
But that's a really good point, though. I mean, there should have been like a maintenance scene in there somewhere, you know, of him just like sharpening them.
Well, you know, he also we know that there are like multiple scissor hands laying around the mansion, so maybe he just like replaced his scissor hands when they got dull. I don't know.
Maybe. If he's doing that, why doesn't he use something like pliers, which would be much more, practical?
I question the inventor, because obviously he was an amazing genius, but I question his judgment for using scissors for hands. Like, yes, like you said, there were so many more appropriate choices, like pliers, for example, or literally anything other than scissors.
But it's like, oh, he didn't have time to finish me, but he had time to read him a story out of a book. Hands in that.
Yeah, why did he teach him human etiquette and all that stuff if he was just gonna like not finish him? And then and he knew, like, he was old, so he had to know his time was running short, and he didn't like come up with a plan for Edward to be cared for after he was gone. I mean, Edward probably doesn't need food and stuff because he's not human, but also, why did he clearly need somebody to look after him, and the guy just didn't make any plans or have a will? I mean, he clearly didn't have a will, otherwise somebody would be living in that house besides Edward and letting it get run down and stuff. Like, come on.
I really hope that he doesn't have to eat, because going to the toilet with those hands would be impossible.
He would be
he's a man. He wouldn't be a man for much longer.
Oh, shit.
Well, but
yeah,
and
yeah.
Yeah.
So
does he even have anything down there? I mean, if he's not really a real, I mean, again, it's a gothic fairy tale, right? It's Pinocchio. He wants to be a real boy. Like, so does he have
I'm gonna have real questions for that guy if he gives him bits down there but not hands.
I'm gonna say my opinion, my educated opinion on this is gonna be that he doesn't have any equipment down there yet, because maybe there was plans for that, but yeah, like the inventor was also a man, so he would know better, right? I hope he would know better. I mean, he would give him hands before he would give him, I hope. Let's move on. So Peg takes him home, like you do with a fucking stranger. What? No, you don't take a stranger home. And so we go through the small town, and there immediately everybody starts calling each other and talking and gossiping about the strange man that Peg brought home. And I was like, I know this is just meant to be like a parody and like obviously an exaggeration, but I was like, I'm fucking triggered because I lived in a small town, and that's really how they fucking are. That's how people are. And I was like, I don't know, it was almost traumatizing me, because I had just recently a very terrible experience that involved small town gossipy biddies with who need a fucking hobby. I'm telling you, they need a hobby.
Oh.
Like one that doesn't involve ripping down other people, because I do not have the patience for that. And eventually I am going to lose my shit and I'm going to scream at you. And then they're going to just think I'm crazier. So it really probably doesn't. It wouldn't.
Well, that's, yeah, just always make them think, make them think that you're crazy. And usually they'll leave you alone then. Like, that's why I have my battle axe. Anybody, like, comes, whatever, just run outside with the battle axe. Then you might get the cops, on you. But, or no, nowadays you might just get shot, no questions asked. So who knows?
I don't know. I'm just gonna move. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna move.
You're not gonna get shot. So
yeah. Maybe.
Do you have like an overly religious, person in your neighborhood too that like says everybody is the devil?
We all every small town has one of them, don't they?
There's 9 houses where I live. There's nobody like that.
Well,
I live in a field.
Well, there's nobody. Period. End of sentence.
Pretty much.
When they go into Peg's house, when she takes Edward in, there's like nothing in that whole fucking room except like a couch and a TV, and then one of those weird spindly clocks. And the first thing I was looking at, and I was like, okay, let's just set aside the ridiculousness of such a sparsely populated room, because there's 4 people living there. There's going to be shit laying around, and it's not going to be that clean, and there's not going to be that little, like, there's not even enough seating for the whole family in that room. So what the hell? But the massive 80s TV, like the big console square, wooden console TV, and I was like looking at it going, and this is honest, I have been looking for one of those TVs to make into an aquarium for like years, I think now. And I was, that one would be pretty good for that. It's nice and big. So I was like, that's my first thought when I thought that. And then I like focused out, and I was like, wow, this room is not a room that 4 people live in. This house is not. But I know they meant it to be stereotypical and like a parody and stuff. So I get it. But also, there wasn't even enough seating for all 4 family members. Certainly not for bring a long-term guest in either.
Yeah.
But that living room was like bigger than the floor plan of my house, I think.
Yeah. Huge living room, no furniture. Maybe she had like secret dance classes.
Was that too early for modernism? I think it probably was.
Yeah, I think so.
Too early or too late?
Too early, I think.
I don't even know.
My next note was when she tells him there's no need to be nervous when he's meeting people. And my comment was, I'd be nervous if I risked stabbing people every time I turned around.
Yeah. She keeps assuring him that there's nothing to be afraid of and no reason to be nervous. And it's like, there's every reason to be nervous. What are you talking about, lady? And
why don't they make him like leather sheaths for the scissors? Like, just like putting it in like a little leather thing.
Yeah, there are so many different things that they could have done to make him a little bit less of a danger to himself and others, because he obviously doesn't want to be a danger to anyone. He doesn't want to hurt anybody. And there are so many things that could have been done. Just put burlap sacks over his hands, for Christ's sake. Something, anything.
Even put pool noodles on goat's horns to make them less dangerous. They can do something about Scissorhands.
I don't think pool noodles existed then, but that would be perfect, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Each individual scissors, pool noodle over it. Done.
That's fucking hysterical. Oh my god, I just imagined it. I want to draw it now.
It was like somebody needs to draw that for us, like Edward Scissorhands, but with pool noodles over his
pool noodles.
So, Katie and I were talking about this earlier when she gives him some of her husband's clothes and says, now here, go into Kim's room and change.
Yeah.
And they put him into the only fucking room in the whole house that has a waterbed.
They offer him a sofa bed after he bursts it, and the girl, when he bursts her bed, they give her like a bed in the different room, which doesn't have a fucking water bed. You know,
and like, they knew she was coming back soon, so why didn't they just, if they were planning on him living with them for the foreseeable future, why didn't they immediately set him up in the boys' room on the bottom bunk or on the sofa bed in the first place? Like, why why did they put him in her room? That's such a weird.
Because then you wouldn't have the hysterical waterbed scene, Sarah. Come on.
Well, I mean, obviously, but like, I'm just saying here, just decisions were made and they were not good ones.
There's no common sense.
Okay, so I saw this a few minutes ago, but like, Cabo Foster said, "Well, I'm out of here now," and I do believe he was talking about the accidental circumcision, or is that? Would you be a eunuch if that happened? And a science said Edward Noodle Hands. So yeah. Like,
so
somebody draw that for me.
I gotta back up. So ever since I was little and my sister and I were watching this movie, our favorite scene out of the whole thing is when she takes Edward and they're driving through the neighborhood to her house, and he turns his face and he smacks his head against the windshield. Oh my god, I fucking lose it every single time I watch it. It is so stupid, but it's just terrible.
No, it's fucking perfect because like he doesn't know. He's never been in a car before.
And his reaction is just like, oh, what Tom?
Yeah. He's like confused that he's in pain. It's so good. I also, like, a minute before that, he excuse me. He's all like, he's looking around and he's so overwhelmed by everything, and he like tries to point and swings his scissor hands right in front of Pink's face, and she's like, I was like, yeah, I probably would have reacted the same way. Like, please don't move your scissor hands while we're in this little car.
Ladies have the covers on them.
So after the waterbed, so he pokes a hole in the waterbed as he's trying to change his clothes, and of course can't change his clothes because he's never had to before, and she has to help him into the shirt and stuff. But then nosy neighbors come in and they're like, why haven't you introduced us yet? Like, first of all, get the fuck off my lawn. But like, why haven't you introduced us before? Well, you need to have a barbecue now. And they just scheduled a barbecue
I love that.
Without her consent. I'm like, that is, what the fuck?
What time is the barbecue starting? She's like,
fucking Joyce,
I love it.
Fucking
Sarah had to explain what ambrosia salad is.
Yes. Katie texted me it was while she was watching. She's like, "What the hell is ambrosia salad?" And I'm like, "It's disgusting. Don't even look it up."
You don't like ambrosia?
I hate ambrosia. It's just,
really.
It's because everybody puts fucking carrots in it. Don't put carrots in the ambrosia. Like, it would
Ew, are you serious?
It would
no, I've never had ambrosia with carrots in it. That doesn't make any sense. That's terrible. Well, my mother doesn't make it that way. That's why I do.
What's julienne carrot? Like little.
Yeah.
And there's like the marshmallow fluff and the fruit.
Yeah.
It's a lot of mandarin oranges from a can. So many mandarin oranges. But yeah, like and then the little fruit flavored marshmallows. I don't like it. No, I do not like it. It is
okay. Well, if I had ambrosia with carrots in it, I'd hate it too. So I understand.
Well, okay.
Marshmallows and carrots
next
is not
time we actually get to hang out in person, you can show me what a good ambrosia salad.
I will. Yes, I will get my mother to make her ambrosia, and you will like it.
I will try it. I am willing to try it if you're like shocked at this. So I'm willing to try it. But I mean, also Joyce is the one that, and I'll bring my famous ambrosia salad. And I'm like, Joyce's ambrosia salad tastes like shit. You know she put fucking carrots in that salad. You know it. You just know it. She put carrots in that salad.
And you just reminded me too, like that whole scene where all the ladies are like shoving their food into his face. Like, oh my god! Like watching it as an adult. It's so weird. Like, we've talked about this on other episodes. Your viewpoint watching it as a kid and then watching something as an adult, and it's like your perspective is completely different now. And you see all these, red flags here and there, and like the sexual like tension and these innuendos that you never saw when you were little. And it's like, I feel really like awkward watching some of these movies now that I'm older.
There's quite a few characters in this film that are entirely made out of red flags.
Oh my god,
yes. One of them.
Yes, one of them for sure. But there are several of them that are like, Like, I'm sure glad this is a movie because I do not want that person existing in real life. Like,
What's her name? Is it Joyce, the one that was chatting up the guy fixing a washing machine?
yeah, Joyce, yeah.
She just needs neutering. She's
Joyce.
awful.
Fucking Joyce, man, I tell you.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And then I was like, is this really how like suburban white women in the 90s really were? Because I mean, they were obnoxious and like nothing better to do.
Yeah.
Every woman I knew in the 90s, I mean, I was a kid, granted, but like every woman that I knew of had a job. And these women have no jobs. And we don't really know what any of their husbands do. So like, what do their husbands do that they have enough money that the women don't need a job or don't feel like they want a job? Like they don't have any desire for it.
No, but I always I don't think they ever mentioned like a year, but I always assumed it was supposed to be like in the 50s or something like that, in the 60s.
Yeah, that's true.
Women didn't really have, jobs, and that was their pastime, was gossip and, meeting the new neighbors and,
I think I'm misreading the timeline. Now that you're saying that, I'm like, because then the grandmother's telling the story is the present day, is the 90s, so that makes sense that would be back in. Okay, yeah, no, I'm with you now. Like, yeah, you're correct, I'm misreading the timeline and we're good now, we're on track. So
I was trying to figure out what the hairstyles were from, like 70s, 80s.
Like they were all over.
They were all over the place. Yeah, they were all over the place. So when after the barbecue, that I think it's that night, they put Edward to bed, and then everybody goes to sleep. But then late night, Kim comes home, and she just goes into her room and starts to change into pajamas like nothing. And then she sees Edward in her bed, and she freaks out. And Edward sits up and panics, and of course stabs a million holes into the fucking waterbed, because that's obviously the first choice of where you would put somebody who has scissors for hands. Maybe with you. But then Bill takes Edward downstairs to the hide-a-bed where they should have put him in the first place. And but then before they go to bed, he gives Edward some, I don't know what he gives him, but it's very like, it's obviously straight booze
or something. It looks like bourbon. And
he tells him it's lemonade, which is the best part.
Yeah.
And, like, oh my god, was not that scene perfectly fucking acted by Johnny Depp? Like, he was like,
yeah,
and, like, his eyes were like bloodshot. It was so beautiful. I'm like, he did such a good job. Mm-hmm. That's how I would react if I had a shot of straight bourbon too.
Yeah,
I drink whiskey like that.
Oh, really?
I've sipped before, but even then, I'm like, I will sip in the very small sips. Like, I could take. Like,
I've had cask strength Glenfarclas, which is like, wow, it burns everything when it touches.
I can only do that with like, Tennessee Jack, like honey whiskey. Like something has to have some kind of flavor to it. Like everything else just tastes like I'm downing like Windex. Like I just God.
I don't drink at all anymore. So, any of those things, any of those options sound awful to me. I don't really drink at all. So he gets into doing the topiaries, and then the dog haircuts, and eventually he cuts the women's hair.
It's amazing. He can change the breed of the dog when he's cutting their hair.
Right? I saw that too. But he's cutting, so he cuts Joyce's dog's hair, and she's like, "Oh my god, have you ever cut a woman's hair? Will you cut my hair?" And then she's like sits on the lawn chair, and he cuts her hair, and she has a fucking orgasm. Like, I've never had a haircut so great that I orgasmed. Like, I've never had a haircut that was so good that I even
I will say, when you get a really good scalp massage, it is almost as good. That it's but I know, I'm just saying.
I'll have to take your word for it, because I have not had any of these things. Like, I mean, okay, to be fair, I really don't do a lot of going to the salon. I cut my own hair, and I go to the salon occasionally, but that's usually when I get that stupid, horrible idea in my head that I should cut my hair short. and I can't cut that myself, so I go to the salon and have them do it. And then so it's like once every 5 or 6 years my hair will get down to my butt, and then I'll be like, I'm bored with my hair now, I'm gonna cut it all off, and then I go to the salon. So it just doesn't happen that often.
I did have one thought about that scene, though. I mean, maybe she's one of these people that likes, is it ASMR, the whispery sounds, and she's got all the blades whispering together. Maybe that's what's going on for her.
That's a really good point.
Like they zoom into her feet and her toes curl, and you can tell exactly what it's supposed to mean. And I'm just like, really?
And again, that's what I'm saying. I didn't understand that when I was watching this, and I'm like 10 years old. But now I'm like, oh shit, this is a dirty movie. Like, ugh.
And then well, and Joyce is just fucking Joyce, man. She's the one, like, she takes him to the one lady takes him to get his scissor hands sharpened. So then we solve the problem of why his scissors are still sharp after he comes to the suburbs, but not before. But then Joyce is the one that takes him looking for salon locations, because they went on a local news TV show thing, not a news program, but like a talk show program, and somebody suggested it, so they decide that's a good idea, which I would have immediately said, Edward, you don't have any money, how are you going to do this? But that's just me.
That's when he gets electrocuted by touching the mic stand, and Jim's laughing at him.
Fuck Jim and fuck Joyce, man. Those fucking all those people with J names. Julie. Jeffrey. Astian said, bless you from your sneeze. I forgot to tell you.
Oh, thank you.
And he also said a good scalp massage puts him right to sleep. So
yes.
I don't doubt it. But like I mean, it is, I won't lie, when it is pretty fun when you go get your hair washed and they're just like, and I feel like they're getting my scalp cleaner than I can do it myself.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely.
But so anyway, they're scouting the salon locations, and Joyce takes Edward back into the back area and then, sexually assaults him. Like, she is a fucking creeper. And
he's so innocent as well. It's kind of, he's so childlike.
He was so, like, he didn't like shove her off and be like, you psycho lady or anything like that. He just, they fell out of the chair. They tipped the chair over and fell out, and he just got up and left. Like, he couldn't have been more polite in that situation.
I mean, he looked like he had no idea what was going on for a start. So it's like, the thing that gets me about this is he is just so innocent about everything. And, that they're so cruel to him. And bless him, I just want to hug him all the time. He's like, baby.
Like socially awkward, but he's so innocent. And he just, like, genuinely good person, which is hard to find. Even in the 90s, it was hard to find.
I mean, if you think about it, he's probably quite traumatized from, like, seeing his dad die and then just being left for years and years and years by himself, watching everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah.
So after that whole thing with Joyce happens, he tells Kim, he tells Peg and Bill and Kim and Kevin that happened, but he just said, she showed me the back room and she took all her clothes off, and Kim and Peg are like, but and Kevin laughs, and Bill just pretends he never said it, or he wasn't even listening in the beginning. I don't even know. But, like, they knew that he was telling the truth. But then, of course, Joyce, she's humiliated that he rebuffed her, and she tells them that he attacked her.
Yep.
So, like, fucking Joyce, man. I'm telling you. Joyce is the real bad guy in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I mean, like, there's a double bad guy thing happening, but it's also, like, just the whole town eventually becomes the bad guy too. But like Kim did a very shitty thing by agreeing to put Edward in the position of letting Jim trick Edward into breaking into his house and stealing his dad's stuff. Like, she should not have done that. She knew it was wrong, but she still was kind of under Jim's spell, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I mean, she's being manipulated too. And I mean, it's
easy for me to sit here and say, Kim, what the fuck? But like, if I was in that situation and I was, what is she, like 19 at the time? She's a kid still.
Yeah.
So I mean, I totally get it. Like, it was shitty of her, but also he was manipulating her, and he is a piece of shit too. Like they make no bones about what a piece of shit he is in the movie. He doesn't hide it at all, except when he's in front of her father. That's the only time.
He is absolutely the sort of guy that gaslights you, and he's absolutely the sort of guy that would murder her and throw her in her trunk and then push the car into a river.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Her in the movie itself, he was gaslighting her. So yeah, like he absolutely, he was definitely good. If they stayed together, he was definitely going to murder her eventually.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like Kim was shitty, but also you're right, she was being manipulated too. She shouldn't have let it happen, but I don't want to hold it against her too much that she did.
No, and like, I like how they did it because like I still liked her as a character. You know, like sometimes they'll have this kind of pull and like they become annoying, or I'm like, yeah, fuck you, what are you doing? You know, whatever. But I still liked her, and I did feel sorry for her.
Right, so. And then because like when Jim drags her away, and they're like gonna run, and because the cops are coming. And she's like, no, turn around. We need to go back and get him. We need to have him. And like, Jim is like, no. And of course, the dude who's driving the van, he's not going to listen to the silly woman. He's going to listen to Jim, who says no. Right. And so, and then she was so horror, like she was so guilty after the fact. And then when they took Edward to the station and everything, and he got out, and she's like, why didn't you tell on us? Why didn't you tell him? And he said he knew, like they were trying to trick him into believing it was not Jim's house, but Edward, turns out he knew the whole time it was. And she's just like, why didn't you tell him? And he's like, because you asked me to do this.
Yeah.
Hi, Twee. Hi, Twee, stepping on my keyboard. So yeah, he knew, and he did it because she asked. And so you know that he's hopelessly devoted to her, and that I don't know, I guess we're meant to believe it's like a pure kind of love because it's probably not sexual, but also he fell in love with a picture of her, not her. So but that was the 90s for you, I guess. I mean,
he's also pretty innocent. He reminds me of a girl that I went to school with who would pretty much do anything anyone told her to do. I used to like stand up for her and say, look, you don't have to do it just because someone told you to. But it's kind of reminded me of that in a way, because he's just so innocent. He doesn't like sort of comprehend the sort of consequences in a way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's just like it was all around a sucky situation, and it caused the climactic events in the movie where Edward storms off. He accidentally hurts Kim. That sucks. But then he gets angry. And he destroys a bunch of shit, which is what makes everybody turn against him for good.
It's got my favorite bit in the film there, the religious lady opening her curtain and he's totally with the devil.
Yes. Oh my god. I love that part. Jim is just the fucking he becomes the second, he's like the most dangerous bad guy of the movie, the most dangerous antagonist, but like the whole town eventually turns against him. And of course Joyce, but we knew from the beginning that we weren't going to like Joyce because she's on there trying to immediately with the dishwasher man trying to seduce the dishwasher man, right? So what the fuck, right?
Mm-hmm.
You'd have preferred an Ann Summers rep rather than an Avon rep.
Oh no. So okay. I was just thinking like that whole ending was really, I thought it was really well done, and I don't really have a lot of criticisms about the very end of the movie, really.
I do have one comment here. Well, two actually. One is, where is he getting the blocks of ice from? And two, the hands that his father, the hands that his father were going to give him look like women's hands. Did you notice they're like a woman's mannequin hands?
They were very feminine, yes.
Yes, yeah. And also, were they made out of soap? What were they made from? That they just mushed
or something.
Yeah, they just mushed when his scissor hands went through them, and I was like, "What happened? What did you were going to give him those exact hands?" Because like the women part, the lady part, sure, whatever, but the part where they mushed when he touched, like, what What kind? What?
Well, no, when he died, he sort of his scissors hands went through them and cut them up, but which is a bit morbid, really. And then it had the fakest looking blood I've ever seen on the blades. It was like bright paint,
It was
red
paint.
paint. Yeah,
Yeah, that was definitely paint.
Not right color.
Yeah, that scene when he gives them, it's like, you're finally gonna be complete. Here's the last thing you need to be a real human, and then he dies right before he can give those to Edward, and Edward's just so confused, and he's like, "Why aren't you waking up?" And oh my god, if you were gonna cry at this movie, that's the part you're gonna cry at.
Edward needs a therapist, a lot of therapy.
Yeah,
so much shit happens to him.
Yeah, he needs just the most understand. Like, Peg and Bill were probably a good like foster care place for them, because Peg was so freaking understanding. But yeah, like, they should have immediately put him into therapy. They absolutely should have.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm at the end of my notes. Do you guys have any leftover notes that you need to get out into the air?
No, I love this movie. I watch it every Christmas. That's my note.
Yeah, it's so hard to criticize the movie because it's so good.
Mm-hmm.
I guess
I'd say I've got one note left, but it was said that the only scary thing about him is how innocent he is and how society can turn on those who are different and innocent, and also how they turn against those with mental health problems like depression and the trauma that he has. And the perils of gossip. It makes no sense. It's like word vomit, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, the gossiping, like I said, that was like triggering. That was like traumatizing to me. Yeah. Because it's like that is absolutely how small town people are. And it's just, especially if you live like the little town that I lived in, is just all kind of older people, and there's so many of them that just kind of stay home all day and they don't really have anything better to do but look out their windows and spy on their neighbors. It's just like,
yeah, so, but like in-person gossiping
is socially acceptable. Like, when I first moved there, I was working second shift, so I would be awake until 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and maybe even later, and they couldn't handle that. That was a gossip point, was that I would be up all hours of the night. It's like, well, of course they'd be up at all hours of the night. I work during, like, what the?
No, because clearly you're doing, like, devilish things and, like, running like a porn shop out of your house, I
mean, I was doing that too, but, like, obviously I was doing that during business hours on the weekends. I mean, I'm not a monster, shit. But my neighbor at the time, actually, even, like, she called me over to her house and was like, I woke up at 2:30 in the morning and I heard banging noises coming from your house. And I had been living there for like a week and a half at this point. So it was like, yeah, we were moving shit around and hanging up pictures, and we were knocking down some faux wall above the cupboards and stuff. Like, yeah, like, that's when we have time to do stuff. So that's, yeah. It's like, I don't know what to tell you, except, I'm not going to be doing it for forever. We're going to be done in a couple of weeks. And also, fucking close your window, lady. Nosy. And like, it's like, that's how they are. Fuck. So
my neighbor used to say that if her sons, because we kind of live a bit about 10 minutes drive out of town, but she always used to say that if her sons did anything wrong in town, she'd hear about it before they got back.
Tell her. Yeah, I was like, that ain't wrong. Holy shit. So. Yeah, so I know, so Julie, your favorite part of the movie is when he smacks his head on the window.
Yeah.
Part of the movie was
the devil's topiary.
Yes, the topiary. Yes, the devil's topiary. And I like the part where he smacks his head on the window too. But like, I don't know about what my favorite part of the movie is, because I just love all of it. I know what my least favorite part is, and that's like, why would you put a dude with scissors for hands on a waterbed? But that's actually, no, I changed my mind, because my very favorite part, I know what it is. It's the booze scene. That fucking face that he does. It's so perfect. It's so good. So good.
And then he throws up when she offers him lemonade in the party, because he remembers.
Yeah. He's like, oh no, thank you. So yeah, that's Edward Scissorhands, and amazing movie. Go watch it again. I'm sure everybody has watched it, so go watch it again. I know, Julie, you said that's your go-to Christmas movie.
Yeah,
We
that
are.
Gremlins.
Yeah, we're kind of cliche. We're Die Hard people. Like, we watch Die Hard at Christmas times. Like, I know it's cliche. I know.
I've never seen Die Hard.
That's okay, because I never saw it until like maybe 2 years ago. It just wasn't like something I was into, when it came out. So I totally get that.
Dead to me. You guys need a kidney. I am not donating one. Yeah, so okay. We have big news, still secret, but it's big news about Critical Affection. And Julie and I were talking before the show. I think we're going to release it. We have our annual Christmas hangover, post-Christmas hangover episode coming, which Katie invited. It's December 27th. That's
birthday. That's my birthday.
Julie's birthday. Yeah, we can get on here and drink with Julie for an hour. Or maybe longer. I don't know. Since it's the post-Christmas hangover, we might just stick around until it stops being fun. I don't know.
What time of day is it?
This time of day. Sorry. Sorry.
And I gotta work in the morning too.
I'm sorry. Like, you gotta stop being in the future. Yeah, so we're doing that. And honest to God, I swear to God, you guys, I have no fucking idea what we're doing for our show next week. I have nothing planned. This is the first time we've been doing this for a whole year now, and I have been planned weeks and weeks and weeks in advance for every single episode except next week. I have no fucking idea what we're doing. So, yes, thank you, Estian. It is a surprise episode to y'all as well as me. I'll figure it out. We'll get something down, but yeah, if you got any suggestions, put it in the comments because I don't know.
Watch it down as a Critical Affection.
Well, I mean, it's getting real close. That's the last before Christmas, so I don't know if we need to keep it Christmassy, but whatever. I don't know. So, but then, yeah, like I said, after that is December 27th, and the episode after the next episode is post-Christmas hangover, which is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have as many of the UHSers as we can get on there. Like, Lori will be there. I think Julie's planning on coming. Maybe we can get Katie to stay up late that day. We'll try and get, Paul Hanley with his internet. I don't know. We'll try, but we'll try. We're going to try and get as many of our people on as possible, up to 10, because that's as many as we're allowed to put on at one time with this streaming platform. But Twee can come because he keeps stepping in front of my camera. Hi. I know. This is what he wanted. He just wanted to hang on my
with the cuddles.
He did not want me to shake him like that.
I thought Spot would come on because he did appear earlier, but he's asleep, so.
Aww. So yeah,
very cute when he's asleep.
Aww. My dog probably went to bed by now, so I don't know.
Okay, yeah. We actually went over by we're going over by like 10 minutes here, so whatever. Yeah. So no idea what we're doing next week, but we'll figure something out before a week. I'll.
Sorry,
dude.
Sniff in your ear. I hate when they do that.
He does. He'll be sitting and he'll just be chilling, and then he'll just turn when I'm not paying attention and stick his tongue in my ear hole. And
Ew.
Do not like it. Yeah. So when I know what we're gonna do, you guys will know. I'll put a banner up, because finals are it's fucked up this semester. Finals are so this Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then next Monday and Tuesday are our finals. I have a final on Thursday and Friday this week, and then I have another one on Tuesday, and yeah, so it's gonna be all kinds of fun. And the last final is like 8:00 in the fucking morning, so bastards. But luckily it's a critique because I'm an art student, so it's all like art critiques for our finals. It's not actually a final, so that's pretty nice. But well, that means that I can maybe devote a little more energy to the Winter Rim episodes. So that should be hopefully fun. We'll see. But yeah, I guess we're a science said good luck on your not actually finals. Thank you. I do have to finish the work for some of the finals, so I am mostly done with 3 of the projects, but I do have one more that I have to get done. So but yeah, thank you for the wishes, for the well wishes. And is that it? Is that all? Like, did I forget anything?
I don't know.
Staring at me. So yeah, I guess that's it then. Thank you for joining us, everybody who joined us. Thank you, Julie. Thank you, Katie. Yeah, we'll see you next week for the I don't know what we're doing episode. And yeah, go back Power Broker if you haven't yet. Wait, somebody said, oh, a science said thanks for streaming. Thank you for coming and watching like you always do. You are a super fan, and we love you. So yeah, that's it. Have a good night. Go check out Power Broker. It's uhstudios.com/Kickstarter. Go check it out, and throw some money at us because we like it when you do that, and it makes us happy. You want to see us smile. So yeah, that's it. Good night. See you next week. Stay super. Bye.
Bye.